Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man! All right! Episode 280 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Chris from Tonal Range Ink in Florida. Let's go!
Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Dylan, the owner of Upstate Merch and the host of the Shirt Show podcast. My guest today was Chris from Tonal Ink in Florida. Super rad dude. I've met him a couple times at shows. He worked at a couple other print shops, has been doing this for a really long time, but now he is out on his own and he's about 5 years in. And I kind of wanted to talk to him about the transition of being employee for so long to finally wanting to start your own print shop and what that looks like. And just kind of, what it means to slug through this whole thing and kind of figure everything out and realize like, this is how I had a pro and a con with being an employee. And this is the pros and cons of doing it myself. So it was kind of a fun episode to get into all that. And, we went on a lot of tangents, which is always really cool. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. If you enjoy listening to the Shirt Show, the best way you can support us is to share the episode. Take a little quick story on Instagram and show us what you're printing, or if you're driving or where you're listening to this, it would be great. And I love seeing all the different things. If you can take 1 second right now, it takes no time. You can just do it real quick. Just hit the like button for me, hit subscribe. It does a ton for the show and it helps other people find it. So I would really appreciate it. This show would not be possible without our amazing partners. It all starts with a screen. Whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com, or ffffrank.com. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals and equipment make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Right now is a great time to check them out because they have a new monthly giveaway where you have a chance to win $250 in product credit. Head to easyway.com/giveaway to enter today. EasyWay is the easiest way. Graphics is your source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. They can help any size shop from just starting out to enterprise level. Looking to add a hero to your art department? Check them out at graphxsource.com. And I also want to make sure you know you don't have to have the full service. You can do a la carte options. If you have artwork you're getting behind on, or if you have a technical design you're having trouble with, send it to Graphic Source. They'll do just that one design for you. You pay the fee and they'll send it right back. SNS is your premier partner in the apparel industry with one website, one purchase order, 14 distribution centers, and over 100 beloved brands. You can streamline your ordering and hit free freight faster than ever. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in the industry. Be sure to order your blanks from ssactivewear.com. Today's episode is brought to you by American Apparel, makers of the iconic 2001. Soft, fitted, and always in style, their shirt has been the go-to for brands, bands, and print shops for decades. If you want a shirt people actually want to wear, start with the iconic 2001. For over 90 years, Stahls has been the leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they offer some of the best products, but they are always looking to innovate and educate our industry on all things heat press. Head over to stahls.com to order your transfers and check them out on YouTube to be taught a thing or two. Tons of resources on their website and tons of resources on their YouTube channel. They are by far the best place to go for any kind of transfer product, be it patches, heat press transfers, just anything like that in that world of heat pressing. They have it and equipment. So check them out. Ryanette's always been that solid go-to resource for screen printers. Not only are their supplies super reliable, but their network of education and support is next level. Whether you're figuring things out or fine-tuning your process, they've got your back. Check them out at screenprinting.com. I wanted to give this a little push. I talked about this in the episode, but I'm going to talk about it right now real quick. Go to shirtshowofficial.com. Check out the new website. There's a lot of really cool resources we're adding there. We're going through and adding every shop hack we've ever had on this show. Go to, I think, the Stuff tab. It's got shop hacks. It's got articles. If you want to write an article talking about embroidery, screen printing, anything to do with our industry, hit me up. I would love to have an article in there, as long as you're not a creepy weirdo. And also, if you want to join a community of like-minded printers, go to shirtshowofficial.com/Discord. It's also on our website. It's probably at the base of this YouTube video. It's in our Instagram. Go to Discord. You can sign up. It's free. You can do it on your computer. You can do it on your phone app. It's got everybody in there talking as a community about screen printing, and it is also policed. So there's no trolls. Everything's, you can talk freely, ask questions, and not feel like an idiot because someone on Facebook said you're a moron. Check it out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really appreciate you all. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, sir?
Hi, how are you?
Fucking dude, run ragged.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's one of those days like where, you know, you think it's chill and everything's like, okay, cool, I got to record at 3:00 and whatever. And then I get a phone call from somebody who's trying to help us out, get us like these vinyl transfers that are like for special poly items, whatever, that's local. And they're like, hey, I can't drop these off to you. Can you come get them? And I'm like, dude, it's fucking 2:00. I got to be here by 3. So I run down there, grab those. I come back here. And then when I get back here, it's like, oh, hey, can you help me with this? I need this. Can you do this thing? It's like, I just need to zen right now. I need to chill, but I'm here and you're here and that makes me happy. So
Well, it's an honor. Please.
let's do this. Yeah. Hell yeah. So what's going on, man? How's your day?
Good. Been surviving the ebb and flows.
Yeah.
They're feast or famine these days, and we're on a little bit of a tidal wave right now, which is a good thing. So taking it as I can.
How long has that wave been hitting you? A couple days or a week or two or what?
It's been like two solid weeks. Once school started, it was like somebody turned the faucet on a little bit.
That's awesome.
You know, the summer was a little rough, but we've just been cranking.
I know.
So.
Yeah, I got thinking earlier. I haven't really gone out and taken a walk much lately because the weather here in New York has been dog shit. It's been like cold and rainy and whatever. And today I just like, I really need a walk. Like I need to clear my head and I need to whatever. And part of me too is like, I feel the last couple weeks of episodes has been me just being a whiny bitch and like downer. And I'm like, Christina did a tech check with you and she's like, oh, he wants to talk about this and that and the other thing. And I was like, all of that sounds positive. Let's just do the positive thing. Like, let's go in that direction. So I'm excited. I'm excited to like be here and to be like not in a shit mood. So I'm going to try really hard not to be a pessimist about things.
That's awesome, man. Cause I feel like I'm a pessimist most of the time myself. So
yeah.
somebody else here, I'm positive is cool.
I really try in life to be like optimistic about certain things. And it's like when it comes to work stuff, sometimes as the owner, I feel like when you get with another owner, you're like, let's just bitch because we can, you know what I mean? And like, I need to not do that as much. So anyway, I want to, let's get right into your story. Tell me your very beginnings.
Ooh. Alrighty. Well, I started printing when I was 14 years old in high school. We had a graphic design academy, more or less, and I got accepted into that. And it was basically, do you want to draw or do you want to do stuff more hands-on? And I was like, I want to try the hands-on stuff. I had no idea what that meant. We learned everything, how to print, offset printing. Digital was around then too. Obviously, I'm not that old, but digital was around.
Mm-hmm.
But the screen printing just kind of caught my attention. And when we got to that, everybody was supposed to do a 1-color, and I had to do a 2-color because I just had to.
Because you're that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah, exactly.
let's make it more difficult than it has to be.
Yeah. So the bug bit me, and I have a stupid little saying that screen printing found me. I didn't find it. So, and I'm forever grateful for it.
That's super true for me. And most people I know too, is it's like, I don't know that many people who are like, I wanted to be a screen printer. It was always like, oh, this happened. And then I fell into it. Like when I first started, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was shit at school and I was in a band and I was hanging out with my friends and I was working at Sears at the time. And I was like, literally, I would get up in the morning at like 6. I had to be at Sears at like 7, I think. And I would get in my delivery truck and I would just go house to house installing appliances all day. Like I was like, this is going to be my life. And my partner that was with me in the truck was this dude in his 50s who was just like, he's been doing it forever. He's like, I've been working here for 30 something years. And I'm like, fuck my life. Like, this is going to be me. And like, the funny thing is when you do shit like that too, you're like, oh, well, like Like he originally taught me the ways of like the installer, truck driver, or whatever thing. And it was like, oh, we're not allowed to ask them for a bathroom. We have to literally piss in the bottle in the back of the truck. And I'm like, this is the life, man. Like eating gas station food all day, pissing in bottles in the back of the truck, and walking into people's creepy ass houses and installing things and laying on their floor. And then yeah, the whole thing like just fell in my lap of like, oh, well, I'm in a band and like I want to make merch for the band and I want to do this and that. And then I was like, I like this. This is cool. Let me just keep doing this. And then I just kept going. I was never like, I want to be a screen printer. I want to like dive into this. It was like, what happens tomorrow? And then what happens tomorrow? And then what happens tomorrow? And then eventually you are a 20-year in industry person.
Yep.
Screen printing t-shirts and having a podcast and doing all these other bullshit things.
23 years myself. It's wild.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah. It's insane that this is our entire being. You know what I mean? So anyway, I derailed you hard.
Oh,
you went to school. You went to school and then what?
So I went to school, the bug bit me. Then we got a graphic arts teacher, like computer graphic arts teacher, next door. And she's my business partner now, but, she just had a curious mind herself and loved screen printing and thought it was cool. We started talking. She showed me the pen tool and Illustrator, and we designed, my wrestling team's t-shirt, and it was over after that. It was like, this stuff is amazing. So started designing stuff, and then before I knew it, I was printing the girls soccer team shirts instead of taking a test. Just that kind of stuff. Then I was like, all right, so I could do this for real. And and my senior year, I got a job at a place cleaning screens, and I'd go clean 60 screens in a car wash bay every weekend for
God damn, the car wash people.
Yeah, I'm the car wash guy. But I got a red Solo cup full of quarters, and I had 2 minutes, 30 seconds to bust out 30 screens, so it's wild, but it's, and then, basically was there for 5 years all through my college. I got a degree in graphic design. And then ended up.
I want to ask you real quick. Do you feel like that did anything for you? Do you feel like the graphic design degree did jack shit for you?
No.
So if you have to think that hard, then it's a no. Just say no.
Well, it was a weird spot because I went to a community college and I have an AS and an AA, and I don't have a bachelor's. So, but I wanted a bachelor's in graphic design from USF, and I went and shadowed some students, and I had my portfolio with me, and I was showing up my stuff, and they were asking me more questions by the end of it than I was asking them. And I was like, do I really want to go into debt with this? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I
mean, the program was very, very niche and very you had to give it your full undivided attention, or, and I couldn't do that. I needed money. I needed a job,
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity with a new place, and I worked there for 10 years. I was the production manager. We started in a 2-car garage, and then we ended up in a 5,000 square foot building, and I had, I think at the max, maybe 8 to 10 people under me as a production manager. So that was a fun ride too.
How long did that last?
10 years. So, I mean, I just kind of hit the glass ceiling there. Just wanted more, didn't really know what that meant or was. And felt like I had got that place to a place where it could survive without me. You know what I mean? And I wanted more, but I didn't know what that meant. And I ended up going somewhere else where I learned how to do CMYK and like real intricate Photoshop art to feed my want to learn more. You know, most of this stuff, you're asking about the degree. I mean, most of this stuff is self-taught still, period.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing is like, I get asked quite a bit, from people who are just starting out or something that are like, well, where do you go learn how to do sim process steps or this and that and the other thing?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I remember I mean, rest in peace. Like, but Jimmy Breen was someone who I looked up to as far as like SEPs and this and that and the other thing. And he had like a YouTube channel about screen printing. He was a graphic designer, and then he did like screen printing in his barn, and he had like a clothing line and everything else. But he was very avid in like talking about like, this is how you do it. And I just learned from his stuff online.
I never knew him, but I know of him. He's from where I'm at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've actually done some stuff with him throughout, just through working. I didn't watch any of videos, but I heard about his situation and all that stuff, but I never really got to meet him. Kind of sad that I didn't,
Yeah. Hey, hold on 1 second.
No worries.
One of my employees' kid is here, and he's just fucking banging on my door. Where did we leave off here?
Jimmy Breen.
Yeah, Jimmy.
He was waxing a hive, right?
I can't remember the name of his clothing thing.
I think that was they had like a art agency, right? Him and Anthony Freeze.
He might have, yeah. I knew him from MTs. So MTs was the site where you would go on and show off your designs, and everybody rated, and it was like this whole forum thing, and it was awesome back then. Like, it was my education in like what was a popular design at the time, because you would go through and rate, and then it would be like, oh, top design of the day or whatever would pop up at the beginning of the website and stuff. And I just remember his thing on there was like, Jimmy Breen or whatever, and then I learned a lot of things from that. So basically what I'm trying to say is like, most of the people that I've talked to is like, you can easily be, well, I don't want to say easy because it's not easy, like be self-taught with people online or YouTube or whatever. Obviously pre-YouTube, it was a lot harder than that. But these graphic design courses, I feel like, are more teaching you how to function in Illustrator or Photoshop or Corel or whatever else.
The biggest thing I got out of it was, one, typography, which is a whole world in itself. But then secondly was like how to know the rules and how to break them efficiently. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like how to push these things to the limit that it bothers you but looks aesthetically pleasing. Does that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
I feel like one of the things that I learned when I did the graphic design class, and this just might be like an anal thing, is like, it really bugs me when I see artwork from customers and I change it most of the time without even saying anything, is like if things are off center.
Oh, yeah.
So like I'll drop a design in and I'll look at it and I'll be like, God, that is not straight. Like, they always do like a curve thing here and then a straight piece and then a center piece and then a curve thing. It's like, if you actually snap a line to it, it's like every single piece that they added in is like slightly one way or the other. Nobody ever put a center line and straightened it.
Don't you love?
Like, I go through and I actually change everything and like line it all up. And then
that stuff ever get you in trouble? It's like you're trying to help and you're trying to do this, like, some kind of piece of art that's like optically it's centered, but it looks off-centered because of the way it's designed or whatever. Yeah. And you try to be helpful and offset it just a hair just because now the shield's centered.
I do it because I know it needs to be done. If it's really bad, I will contact the customer. I had one the other day actually where I contacted them. It was this a good customer of ours, and they had gotten new logos done or whatever. Well, they had this whole like tech pack of all these different designs that someone did for them. And they were like, well, I kind of like this one. Let's use this one. They had many options to choose from. Well, anyway, one of them was like their name, but there was a Y in it, and the Y came down and curled back up. And then they had text below it that was a lot smaller, but they tried to break the text up with the Y, but the Y wasn't centered. So like the text underneath it was like super to the left.
Yeah.
And I was like, I emailed them and then I called and I was like, I want you to look at this. Like if I print this, it's going to look like the whole design is off center. Like optically, it's going to make everybody think the print is super off center or crooked or something. Yeah. So then I ended up showing him a couple options, and then we ended up picking like a whole different layout. And it was just like, this is what I mean by things where it's like, you need to contact, like if you were to order, I don't want to bash, but like if you were to order that from like Custom Ink or something, it would have just been printed exactly the way that you submitted it. There would have been no like, hey, this is my 2 cents as an expert.
I guess I never thought about that. I guess that is a good thing. That's one of those value added services that we do unintentionally without even really realizing it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we should value that more. And I don't think probably neither one of us do, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But again, I think that's something, it's like a, like you said, like it's unintentional, but it is what it is when you're looking
Yeah.
at it and you want it to come out good. Like you don't want it to look like shit. Like, I guess selfishly, a lot of times we think of that of like, well, we're saving our own ass because we know the customer's going to get them and be like, these are off center. And it's like,
yep.
it's actually your art, dude. Like it wasn't us, but like I would
Yeah.
rather fix it now than have to fix it later and pay for it. So
Yeah.
So anyway, what was the next evolution in your story? You were there for a good amount of time.
I was there for 10 years and then ended up going to another shop, Averty, with Brian and Scott, and was there for about 18 months. Well, I was there for 6 months, then COVID happened. Wild ride, you ready? So COVID happened. That was pretty scary. They let go of everyone except for me. I had some.
Why were you the only one left behind?
I don't know, but I do know. It's like I think they were scared they might lose me, but I also think that they saw more in me than I saw in myself. If that makes any sense.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it was cool though, because that place, they always say the grass isn't greener on the other side, and I learned a lot from them in that short period of time. I mean, we had to let go of everybody, but it was strategically done. Not it was the business side of it of like, all right, here's COVID. It's Wednesday. Everybody's getting on unemployment ASAP because we had unemployment issues here in Florida with that, and nobody that worked with us had any issues because they were on it immediately. But then we got slammed with the mask stuff, and everybody was able to come back. But it was cool because it was like this, like, help rebuild and the culture and everything, so it was cool to be a part of that. In that time though, their artist that they were using for like 30 years that did all their CMYK stuff, which I never really had any art conversations like I was able to have with that guy, really told me stuff that was way over my head before I even realized it. But he suddenly passed away, and I had to learn how to do CMYK steps in like 2 weeks. And
can I get your honest opinion on this? And I'm just going to say it, but like in the entire time I've been screen printing, we've done it a bunch of times, but I am not a fan at all of CMYK printing. Like, I think there's going to be people that hate me for this, but it's just like, I feel like it's a cheap way of like making it work. Like
it is. We did CMYK with spot drops, which, and a lot of this stuff was for, like Discovery Channel, like these monster truck shirts,
Right. It's like it's basically for a photograph for the most part, like a way to screen print a photograph. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were really cool. I mean, we've done some real photo realistic stuff that just, I mean, the first one I ever did was really cool because I posted a picture of it, and Dot Tone Campbell, I think that's his name, commented on it because I was like, this is my first one, blah, blah. And he commented on it, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool, but it's cool. I mean, this is
fully ready. It's right there.
not on purpose. Or the shirt show hat right there. You see it?
I see it. It's wonderful.
This is CMYK. And I thought for sure the merman skin tone was going to be terrible. And
see, that's the thing. And that's why I'm saying this. And I'm not saying that the print like the way to do it is bad. It's like it is a thing. And it's like, if you're really good at it, then hell yeah, it's awesome. But the thing is we don't do it enough. I had to explain this to a customer recently where they were asking us if we did, I can't remember what process. It was like some way of printing that you would maybe only get asked like once every 8 years if we do. Yeah. And I kind of tried to tell them in a polite way of like, we can do it. I can order the ink. I can make it happen, but we are not in any way like an expert on this style of printing.
Yeah.
Like, What I don't want to do is tell you straight up, like, yeah, no problem, and then we handle it, and it's kind of half-assed. It doesn't look that great. It is what it is, whatever. And I'd rather push you in the direction of a print shop that I know like does that all the time. I'd rather be like, say if someone came to me, this is what I think I talked about, was like someone came to me with a streetwear thing where they wanted puff print, whatever, but they wanted it to go all across the back and over into the shoulders and whatever. And I was like, who would be great for that? Streetwear House.
Spirit jerseys. Yeah.
Go to Streetwear House. They're doing this all the time right now. They know exactly what to do. They have the layout. They have the palettes. They have everything they need. Like, I could do it, but for me, it's going to be a trial and error on their job.
Some of that stuff so fad printing though. Like it's like they're just cyclical things that keep coming back over the next decade. I mean, foil's getting a good little push now too.
Foil. Yeah, I will turn it down every time. I just had somebody ask us for that not that long ago, and I told Leanna, I was like, if they're not going to do metallic gold or silver ink, then no, I'm not doing foil.
They're just, I mean, they're cool and they're fads, but that's what they are. And you can't expect somebody to spend thousands of dollars on specialty palettes just to accommodate that one job that they may print every decade.
But the other side of that is, again, like, it's like when I say Streetwear House is because like Alex and them, they want to be doing that stuff. Like they want everybody who wants that style of printing to come to them. So they're fully equipped. They're ready. What I'm saying is my market is this other thing of like, okay, I want to do, 12 color comic book designs or this for this band or whatever else. It's like, if you want that kind of printing, I will do it all day long. But what I don't want is to do that all day long. And then once every 6 months, someone's like, will you do rhinestones? And it's like, no. I'm just going to say no. Like, it's not something I want to even think about. Or foil. Like, we had the person the other day ask us if for foil, and they sent us a photo reference of foil they've gotten done in the past or something, and half of it was missing. I was like, this is right here. You are proving my point. Like, the reason why I don't want to do foil is because the shit falls off.
Yeah.
I used to have, back in whatever hardcore days when foil was huge, I had a Despised Icon hoodie, which had like the Despised Icon logo on the front, and it was all gold foil. Like 6 months in, all you could see was the glue. Yeah. It was just like I had this like glue print on the front of my hoodie, and it was like, I don't want to put that out because the customer never knows that this is like a novelty print thing. Yeah. They just think, oh, this is supposed to last. And then as soon as it turns to shit, they're like, fuck that company. They don't know what they're doing. This print looks like shit. And it's like, I would rather not make the $400 on the order and tell them no, and then just it's not on me that it went bad.
Well, the biggest lesson I learned from like Averty was like it just knowing, like you're saying, somebody that you can reference them to go for that is huge. That keeps you in their good graces, and you still help them. So when they you think, oh, I just turned business away and sent it over here. No, you helped point somebody in a direction to get what they wanted done appropriately, so they'll come back to you in a heartbeat.
Hopefully. I mean, that's the plan.
Sometimes.
Nobody, you would hope.
No loyalty, but yeah.
I don't know. That whole thing is just kind of, I don't know. I want to stay in my lane. So anyway, you were there for, you said 18 months. What happened? They kept you around, and then what?
So 6 months into it, COVID happened, artist passes away. I had to figure out how to do CMYK, and we were doing it. It was great. Then basically bought a house. We were already in the process of buying a house when COVID was going on. This house had a like 400 square foot mother-in-law and shed. It's actually kind of a little house in the back.
I've never heard somebody call it a mother-in-law shed before, but
shed it's a house. It just doesn't have plumbing, like a toilet and shower,
or insulation or windows.
I mean, that was my shop, and like things just started getting real pretty quick. I mean, it didn't take but 6 months of doing that, and I had an opportunity to help my graphic design teacher from high school again, and we had this new restaurant open in the OCC Roadhouse, the Orange County Choppers Roadhouse, and they needed some shirts, and I did a job for her, and when she came to pick them up, she was like, "You want to do this for real?" And I go, "Yeah, why not? No regrets." And 4.5 years later, here we are. So
What did she mean by, do you want to do this for real? Was she just questioning, do you want to be a screen printer for the rest of your
do
days?
you want to do this? Like, do you want to do you want to take it to another level?
Right.
She basically got acquired a almost 8,000 square foot building, which essentially could all be for the print shop, but we're utilizing maybe roughly about 3,000 square feet of it right now. We had to find a press during COVID, which was tough. That's got a story in itself too. We found a 35-year-old Anatol Triton in a storage unit for $1,500 and brought it back to life. And Manny from AT&T was the only person that would touch it and helped bring it back to life. And now it's almost got 1 million prints on it. So it's
awesome.
archaic, man. We're using old stuff, but what are you going to do? I mean,
I'm not knocking it.
I mean, everything's archaic. We got film going on. We got old light tables with not even UV lights. I mean, and that's hard too because, working at Averty and some of my other jobs, we had washout booths and autocoders and CTS machines, and we were holding down to 4% dots on halftones. Like, I mean. So, go from that to that, it's very humbling, but also, like, I guess romantic if you think about it in screen printing terms, like, back to the basics, but we're doing great work.
I think that's the thing too, is it's like, you got to start somewhere. And if you can start with, if you're making it work with anything, then you can make it work with the good tools eventually when you get to that point.
And that's what's hard right now, is like knowing like how much less harder we could probably be working if we had newer stuff, but that comes at a price too. So it's like a give and a take. It comes with a price tag, but it also comes with like quality of life or, ease of finding people to help, So.
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. So what ended up happening? Unless I kind of missed it, but like, what ended up happening with the company you were working at? Was it Advertise? The one that you were at, that they kept you for 18 months or whatever, and then you left. Whatever ended up happening then.
So basically, long story short, I had the opportunity to start my own thing with, in the building, and I had to tell them that I was going to be their competition. And I was scared to death to tell them that. And, I didn't want them to think that I was there for ulterior motives and wanting to just learn and take. You know what I mean? That was it really, truly, organically just unfolded and happened like that. And I was very nervous to tell them. But when I did tell them, they couldn't have been more nice about it. And they basically told me, like, we knew that was going to happen. We just weren't expecting that to happen this soon. And it blew me away. Like, we're still friends to this day. We go to Print Hustlers together when we can.
Yeah.
He calls me every week. We just, shoot the shit and check in on each other. I've helped them do stuff. They helped me do stuff. It's a real friendship. You know what I mean? Like, it's
it's one of those things too, of like knowing your potential, of being like, well, you're going to go do it. What's the benefit of me being an asshole? Like, if like, I would rather have you as a friend and an ally than be like, well, fuck you for leaving. And then when you leave, you have the incentive now to be like, well, I guess your customers are my customers, or it's fair game to fight for the same people or do this or that, when it's like, maybe they can just be like, cool, we have an ally now. And if I need help again, like, you can go back and forth and whatever.
And even to that, like, I've gone above and beyond to not poach anybody that anywhere I've worked at for the last 15 years, 18 years. Like, I made it a point to not, and if that's what's been humbling, is the people that have walked in the door on their own accord. That's cool. That's validation to me that, okay, it wasn't the shop, there was something else. And, humble brag, it was me. No, I'm just kidding.
It was solely me.
Oh, I'm just sorry.
That's all it was. Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I've been in that boat, and I don't know how much I want to talk about it because of whatever sore subjects, but
Oh, I get it. We've had a similar past.
Yeah, like when I worked at the other shop, and then I've always been the sales guy. I've always been the office person. And when I had the button company and I was doing sales, it was like, okay, I'm going to sell buttons. And then it was, okay, I'm going to outsource t-shirts and stickers. And then I started selling t-shirts a lot and then getting more and more into t-shirts. Well, when I moved there to do sales, it was all t-shirts. Like I stopped really worrying about buttons or worrying about stickers. It was like my main focus was t-shirts because obviously that was way more profitable and bigger money and everything else. And then I learned how to sell basically in the big city. You know, I'm used to being out here in the woods and kind of just emailing people all day. But there I could look at an opportunity and be like, hey, there's a big business that could get us a lot of profit and a lot of consistent orders if I just set up a meeting and go into the city and like have lunch. You know what I mean? Like it's way easier to go meet people and make a relationship or whatever. And I kind of cut my teeth on that as far as like, all right, well, and again, I think it was just ignorance of like not knowing what's what. It's like, oh, well, my job is to sell t-shirts. Well, who's a really good person that would sell a lot of t-shirts? How about the MLB baseball team? Like, so that was like, instead of hitting up Joe's Pizza, I was like, oh, the third largest church in the US is here. I'm going to go hit them up because they're going to sell a shitload of shirts. Or, oh, I'm going to go to the baseball team because they're going to sell a shitload of shirts. So that's what I did. And like, I got good at it. Like I got, you know, good relationships with those people.
Yeah.
And then the thing is like, you came just like you came to a point where, you knew you wanted to do this on your own. Like not necessarily anything against them at all.
Yeah.
Because that like, I don't know even know if they know this. I think they just think that everything was malicious as far as me leaving and starting my own company. But it was like, I'm from a tiny town in upstate New York in the woods. I moved at a young age, you know, at like 20 years old or whatever it was, to Atlanta. And it's like instantly thrown to the wolves of like, okay, you've never lived in your own place. I was living in my girlfriend's basement. You know, I went from my parents' house to staying at my best friend's mom's walk-in closet for like 2 years. And I went from that to sleeping on a futon in my girlfriend's basement. And then it was like, oh, hey, let's get married. And immediately the next day moved to Atlanta. Yeah. And it was like, I had a loft apartment that I was now like, I had to make sure it was paid, which wasn't cheap. And then I had a brand new job that I've never done. Me and my wife at the time were like, no family or friends. It's just like, we just got thrown into this thing. And it was like, yeah, I had to work hard to make money to pay and do all these other things. But also like, it's brand new. Like I live in a totally different world and like the culture is different down there than it is up here. Yeah. And what happened was I got really good at my job because I had to in order to pay for us to live. But also I wasn't a big fan of the area. Like nothing against Atlanta. Like the only thing that I really like miss and love down there was the food. Yeah. Like there were so many good food spots and like barbecue and like whatever. I don't miss like the city. I don't miss like anything else really. Like I didn't really even have time to meet that many people. And it was just not for us. Like I was like eager to get home. Like I was eager to be like, I have to get back where there's trees. I have to get back where anybody other than my boss knows my name. Yeah. So that was the thing when I left there was kind of like, they knew I was good at my job. So they took me to dinner and were like, hey, we want to offer you basically your exact same job you have here, but remote from home. Like your paycheck will stay the same, like all these other things. And that was awesome. Like that was a really cool offer. Like I sometimes think about that of like, I would have immediately hit the ground running of a paycheck and still had my job and still doing whatever. But like part of me was like, I know I can do this on my own. Like, I know I have that in me. I know I have the creative, whatever, and the drive to do it. I just want to do it. Like, regardless of what you're going to offer me right now, I've already in my mind made up, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. So when I left there and came home, I immediately hit the ground running. Like I was already, when I made the decision that I was moving home, I already was like, I made my website. I made everything I was going to do. Upstate merch was a thing before I even got back to New York. Like it was like ready to go. So as soon as I got back, I immediately started. And that's the thing is like, I remember being back home, like again, scared to start a new thing. And a weekend, I got a phone call of like, you're going to be hearing from my lawyers and like this and that and the other thing of like, you're going to steal all my customers and whatever. I was like, dude, I have no desire to steal your customers. All the customers that I really got that were worth anything are from like 4 miles from your shop.
Yeah.
Like, why would they order from upstate New York when you're locally like dropping them off?
Yeah.
So that was the whole thing. Like to your comment, really long story to reply to your comment of like, I'm not looking to be like poaching customers and this and this. Like, and I'll be straight up, there were a few, and when I say a few, I mean like 2 customers that came to me, but it was because they were my like only friends from that area. It was like we hung out outside of the thing. It was like, okay, these are people that are actual friends of mine, know me personally, and are like, oh, we want to support you in your new thing. Like to me, that's not poaching a customer. It's like I had a friend and made a business relationship out of it, but also we were more friends than we were a business relationship. Yeah. And then that is whatever. But all the other customers like it's not, and also too, fuck you. Like it's like, I never signed a non-compete or whatever. And I'm 1,500 miles away. Like, get over it.
Yeah. I mean, this city's big enough that nobody's infringing on anybody, unless you're doing it intentionally, but like this industry and this screen printing is more to me than just my job. It's my passion. It's my life. It's my life. Like you're not taking that away from me just because you don't want me to make more money than you. Or you're afraid you're doing something out of fear because you're threatened by you see more potential in me again than I see in myself. So, it is what it is, but yeah, I mean, to that, like, that's what's been the hardest part of all this is the business side of it. Luckily, I had 18 years of being able to figure out the printing side of it, but just, I feel like since I started my own business, like it's taken me out of the land of naivety and just kind of woken my eyes up to like it's pray or be preyed upon, and it's hard because I'm the kind of person that wants to help and truly help, not just this half-assed transactional help. I care, so let me care and let me help you. And some people get that, some people don't, and that's been hard to kind of there's so much there. I mean, I've grown so much from listening to this show, and over the past few years, man, it's unbelievable like how much you've helped me, or just situational, or other people talking about stuff that I'll be mowing the grass and you guys will bring something up and I'm like, oh, okay, that little nugget's just enough to get me through the next week.
Yeah. Thanks for the crumb. Yeah.
So,
I think the main thing, like, to have this discussion with you is kind of like the story of being an employee and realizing you want to do this on your own and starting up your own place and keeping good relationships, but also like being true to yourself and being like, I want to do this for myself. Like I could work for you, but like, I feel like I need to experience the whole thing for myself. And I've had that before too, where I've never had anybody leave here in good terms and be like, I want to start my own place, like help me out. It's always been like, they tried really hard to get fired or just quit. And then I'd hear through the grapevine that they went and bought like a Ryonet full shop kit and then never got a customer and then closed the doors. And like trying to not sound like an asshole right now. It's sweet. It's sweet victory. Like it's like, oh, it's not as easy as you thought it was. You know what I mean? Like when they leave, and like if someone was to leave here and be like, I really want to try to do this on my own, I would be helpful. I'd be like, hey, here's some extra squeegees I don't need. Here's some screens, whatever. I have people that never worked here that are local that, are trying to start a shop. And I'm like, I have an extra flash I never use. I have this and screens and that and the other thing. And I'm like, here, take it. Like, go live your passion, like be a print shop. But I'm just saying when they leave here and they're like, fuck you, Dylan, like you're a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, cool. And then they start their own print shop and it crashes and burns. I like throw myself a party of like fuck you, dude. Like
I get that. But at the same sense, the reality is too, that even when they start, even with them crashing, like they get some new perspective and they get it real quick.
That's when I get the apologies of like,
yes.
Hey, I'm sorry I said what I said, and I'm sorry that this happened. And I'm like, all right, like
you just don't know what you don't know till you know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got sometimes you find out the hard way and fuck around and find out,
Right. Well, I mean, what ends up being most of the time is a printer or something that is out there doing the manufacturing side of things, kind of like you touched on, of like they're like, oh, I know how to print shirts, I could do this. But it's like, dude, you're 50% of it. Or if anything, maybe 25 to 30% of it. Like you're not even talking like darkroom or screen prep. You're not talking like artwork separations. You're not talking bookkeeping and whatever. Like, or just being a salesman. Like just because you can print shirts doesn't mean you're a good human that people want to talk to and give money to.
Yeah.
Like there's so many other parts of it that have nothing to do with printing a t-shirt. Printing a t-shirt is the end result of the very end of the thing.
That's the instant gratification part of the whole process. And the beautiful part of it is you went through all this stuff that nobody cares about or thinks about because they think you just click print and it comes out of a printer. But, and then you get this finalized thing, like, there's so much work into it, but you only get paid for that one part. That's what's weird. You know what I mean? It's very, I don't know. It's addictive. It's very strange.
Yeah. So what is your take on the whole thing? I mean, you talked about what you did, but like, what is your take on, because Christina had mentioned something in your tech check that was kind of like, you don't want to promote that employees should leave and do their own thing, but like, sometimes it's worth doing.
It has its pros and cons. I mean, there's it being.
But that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what are the pros of it for you and what are the cons of it for you. Because even me doing this for 20 years,
that's a tough question.
I'm like, I mean, there's definitely months or days or whatever where I'm like, dude, it would rule so hard to clock in and clock out and go home and not think about this place at all. And still, regardless of the way the market is, regardless of whatever, I still get a paycheck on Friday.
That's like a false thing though. It's like it's real, but it's not, because that's not as secure as you think it is either. I mean, COVID comes and you're laid off just like everybody else, so like but
you're also, as a business owner, when COVID comes, you're fucked either way. So it's like,
but you know what I mean.
But
like,
I can't collect. The thing is right now, if I as an owner, my business went under, I can't collect unemployment.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me because I'm still figuring a lot of stuff out, man. Like and what I mean by that is just even about myself. I've learned literally, so no BS. One of my good customers bought me therapy, the BetterHelp stuff. And I did that for a year, and it was amazing because it made me realize how mean I was to myself. And what I mean by that is how hard I am on myself. I'm probably my biggest and hardest critic, and it's never good enough, never blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, and I got to learn for once that that's my brain tricking me and stop doing that. And that's easier said than done, but it's, I mean,
I won't get into the other side of that, but like the whole therapy thing and whatever, there's multiple parts. And it's kind of funny too, because we were watching, I've seen the whole series before, but me and Christina are going through and rewatching West Wing right now. And it's one of my favorite like series. I love it. I mean, it's like 25 years old, but it's just a great show all the way through. Aaron Sorkin. And anyway, the episode last night was literally about how Jed Bartlett is the president or whatever, and one of his people under him kind of confronted him and was like, you know, your dad, and I'm not saying this about your family or anything. I'm just saying he was like, your dad never liked you or whatever. So like Jed Bartlett as the president is always trying to get everyone to like him and do the right thing, whatever, because he wants like that gratification of the people to think that he is worthy.
Yeah.
And it was just like the whole episode is basically like, he's like, I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then he finds out that it was because basically he is his own enemy because he thinks that he's never good enough or he's never doing the right thing. When in reality, he's like, he was a teacher and he's the fucking president of the United States. And like, he's done all these amazing things, but he still never feels gratified because dad never liked him or something. And it was just like, there's too much therapy here. That's what the episode was, is like, they had this like secret therapist come in and was talking to him about all of these things. And that was the end of it, basically, where he was like, oh, it's because my dad didn't like me or something. And then today you're like basically saying exactly what Jed Bartlett was saying of like, I never give myself enough credit. But I mean, again, like we don't have to get into the whole therapy thing, but like I have that too. Me and Bill were actually talking about this last night. We drove out to do some stuff last night. We were talking about how you don't think about who you are and how you are as a person all the time. You're just in it all day.
Yeah.
And then people on the outside see you and are like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you've created this whole thing and you do this and that and the other thing. And I'm like, I feel like a fucking piece of shit every day.
So here's a perfect,
like, I don't know what you're seeing, but
perfect example is going through school, accolades and praise, being an employee, accolades and praise, 18 years of that. And then you think this industry, it's hard not to get an ego with some of this stuff because you put so much time and effort into it. And, you've got to check that. And I think the screen printing gods check you with that too sometimes. They're like, you're getting cocky, gut punch. But you get all this praise and then you start doing your own thing and then nobody cares. And you feel like you've created your own prison sometimes. Like, why did I create my own isolation chamber and nobody cares? Nobody wants this. It's not good enough. Like that's how it feels being a business owner, is like you're alone on isolation island and, shut up and just get it done because you have to, because nobody else is going to. And that's a hard pill to swallow. And I don't think some people have that in them to do it, because it's either do it or don't. There's
there's a lot of lessons in there though too, and kind of goes in what we were saying is, as an owner, I technically have to put a face on or have a mentality of like basically the dog sitting at the kitchen table in the apartment that's on fire. Yeah. And it's like, it's fine. Like that's literally me every day. And that's probably almost all of us business owners is like, if I'm being super truthful, it's like, oh, well, business isn't that great right now. And this is going on and this thing's due and this job's coming up and, this employee has an issue with this and everything else, but you have to walk in every day and be like, hey, we're going to do it. We're going to print shirts. We're going to pay the bills. We're going to do this, that, and the other thing. And then you just have to put a smile on and be like, yep, we're doing it again tomorrow. And it's like, there's no escaping it. You just have to either do it or not.
Yep.
And I'm not giving up. So I just have to fucking do it every single day. And that's when people call me at a certain point and they're like, how's business? I'm like, it's so good. I just feel like I'm slogging along. Like, I feel like I'm just in it and I'm doing it and I'm not giving up and whatever. And it's like, okay, cool. Let's just keep doing it. And it is what it is. And it's just the way of the world. And, you just kind of have to get through it. But
I mean, like listening to like Justin and Brett talk the other day, like it's cool to hear, because I've been following them forever since they've started, you too, and it's so cool to hear your guys' evolutions to where you're at now and like what you guys are now looking into, but yet like still have that humbleness to remember where you came from too. You know what I mean? And that's cool to hear, like I'm your cheerleader,
I want to clarify some things because it's kind of like, I've been doing this for a certain amount of time, and this was kind of the conversation that I had with Justin and Brett. Is like we all started around the same time, around like 2009.
Yeah.
And it was with our own companies anyway, with our current whatever things. And basically it's like you grow and you grow and you grow and you get to a certain point where you're like, this is where I want to be. I'm happy, whatever. And then you get all the equipment you want, you get the employees that you want and whatever. But as an owner, you get to a point too where you kind of lose your creative juices because everything you wanted to build is built.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, cool. This is the thing. And then for me, I think the problem is, and again, it's like, it's more of a mental thing, is like, I built this thing, it runs, it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, cool. What do I do next? Well, then in my mind, I'm like, all right, well, this is now when I finally get to sit back and reap some of the benefits. And I can be like, what new projects do I want to tackle? And for me, it was like, cool. I want to sit at my desk. And what I want to do is I want to focus on like bigger clients or marketing or this, that, and the other thing. Well, you get hit real quick in the face with a humble stick when you realize like not everybody wants to work with you, or they already have somebody they work with that they really like. And it's like, I had this mentality in my mind a little bit of like, I should be able to get this client. I should be able to get this client. Like I'm who I am and I do good work and I can get them the best shirts that I know about. I can get them the best possible printing type that I know about. I can do this, that, and the other thing. And then you go to them with this thing and they're like, yeah, I don't really care. I just know Bobby Sue who does it down the road and like, it's fine. Like we work with them. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like we have no problems like with them and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but I can print it on this and I can do discharge printing and I can do this thing and the other thing. They're like, cool. I don't really give a shit. Like,
and they don't. They sometimes, for some
like,
people, it's just a transaction.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is like getting hit in the face was just like, I thought my new thing was going to be like, I'm just going to go around and I'm going to cherry pick these customers that I want because I have this knowledge and this type and this whatever. And then you get hit. And then I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm in this weird stage as an owner of like, well, cool. Like half of what I tried to do sucked. I mean, some stuff is working. Again, this is just me venting and whatever.
Yeah.
Like things are okay. Things are fine. But like my mentality right now is like, I need some wins. Like for me personally, you know what I mean? Like I need to be able to be like, all right, this is what I want to do with myself. Like I can't call my dad and be like, hey, let's renovate this part of the building like I used to be able to do. Or like, hey, you know, we're going to add, you know, this new piece of equipment or that because I can't, like, I don't need it. I don't have the room. Also, like I'm fully stocked. Like I have all the new equipment I want to have and everything else. It's like, I'm just trying to scratch an itch that you can't get to.
Yeah.
And it's,
I mean, you got a cool
annoying
perspective though, in my opinion. You're getting like some of the curtain pulled back that some of us don't even get to see, you know, manufacturing plants of Gildan and how the water is, you know, like that. I mean, I'm a print nerd, so that's cool. Like, I want to see that shit.
Super, for the people who don't know, that was a super weird statement. You get to see behind the curtain of Gildan how the water is.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm sorry.
I know exactly what you mean.
Sorry.
But he's talking about the water treatment that comes out of the factory and how it ends up being cleaner.
I want to know how
all
all that stuff works, man. Like, I want to know all of that. Is that going to make me any more money? No, but
no.
Like,
I promise you, it makes you no more money.
But I want to know.
The cool part, and I can't say it doesn't make you any more money. The cool part is that any one of us listening or whatever, you can do any of these things. It just depends on your level of involvement. Like for me, I'm a fucking dude in upstate New York who just decided this is what I'm going to do and I want to do it and I want to network and talk to as many people as possible and learn as much about my craft as humanly possible. And that's kind of what I did. I was like, all right, well, I know this person's involved with this thing. I'm going to go be friends with them.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, cool. They're like, all right, well, I know this person and this thing and this person and this thing. And then you end up seeing all these like kind of behind the scenes thing. And I've talked about it before, like with M&R, like my whole thing with them was when Rich Hoffman was around, it was kind of like, hey, I'm pretty sure I can help you with marketing because you don't have any. Like basically M&R's whole thing for forever was that they are just this behemoth in our industry and that's who you go to and then whatever. But the thing is, they didn't really do a lot of marketing. It was just like, you come to us because you should come. I don't know any other company to say this about, but say it was like Ford or something. They're like, who else are you going to go to? We're Ford. Like you're going to buy a truck from us. Like, why would we bother marketing to anybody when you know just to come to us anyway. Like, I feel like that was kind of the mentality. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, I think that we can like do some fun stuff together. And then I ended up being like, hey, let's go do like shop interviews and like talk to people behind the scenes about like why they chose to get your equipment or cool things they're doing with your equipment. So then they were like, yeah, let's do it. So they ended up just sending me, like, it was like a dream side gig thing of like, oh, what shops do you know in Utah? And I was like, cool, let's pick 4 shops. Let's fly to Utah. We'll go to 4 different shops that I would never normally be able to get into. Like, the only reason why I was allowed to go in those places is because I was with M&R and they were like open arms, welcoming, being like, oh, we want you to come in. But really, I'm just another shop from New York. Like, you're giving me a behind the curtain view of this amazing place. Yeah. And the only reason I can is because I'm with this other group. And that's the thing is like, I've learned so much and made relationships and talked to certain people because of those things that it just lets me dive deeper into those things. And I think every shop should try to do as much of that stuff as possible. I'm not saying go make a deal with M&R or something. I'm just saying that like, go visit places. Like, anytime you travel with family or do this, like, pick a day and just be like, I'm going to visit a shop locally. Like 9.9 times out of 10, they're going to welcome you and be like, cool, come in. Like, let's talk. Yeah. Like, the stigma of if someone's going to shoot you with a door is not necessarily a reality.
I'm a little introverted when it comes to that kind of stuff, so I don't reach out to people. I don't know. I'm weird with that stuff. But then when you get to know me and talk to me, like, I want to know everything. Like, and that's why I was really scared when I went to Print Hustlers. Like, I was like, these are my people. This is my industry. What if they don't accept me? What if I don't fit in? What if I'm not?
It's not a real thing.
But it was awesome, and everyone was awesome, and like, now I have friends all over the country, you know what I mean? Which is, and really I want to say that,
like, not speaking for all of those people, but again, I've been doing this for a long time, where I don't think I've ever met. I can't say that's fully true. I mostly haven't met people that are not just normal people that are cool to talk to and want to talk about things. Like, how often do you get to go to a place like a trade show or a conference or something where everybody in the room is the same fucking person?
Yeah.
They are literally me and you and everybody else. Yeah. We're just fucking punk kids who decided to screen print and are fucking out of our minds in stress. We're barely making it. We're just trying to print shirts and make a life. Yeah. And it's, when you get to go to these things, it's just a giant group of people that are all in the same boat. So any person you sit next to is going to have a shitload in common with you.
Yeah.
And it's like this whole thing of like, cool, I get to have these conversations and this, that, and the other thing. And I don't know, man. It's just,
and they get
it's not as scary as people think it is. It's like, just go talk to people. Like, you might see Ryan Moore on the internet, or me, or fucking I don't like to put myself in that category, but I'm just saying that, like, if you were to see me, for example, at a show, come fucking talk to me. Say, hey, like, don't just walk by and be like, I don't want to talk to him. He's taller than I thought he was, and he's intimidating or something. You know, I've gotten that before, where people are like, I was too intimidated to talk to you because you're just a giant man. And I'm like, it's just the body I have. I'm sorry. Like, you can come talk to me. It's fine. But like, people like Ryan Moore and stuff, like, they're on the internet talking and giving education because it's what they love to do.
I mean,
and it's like, if anything, he's more someone who would be willing to talk to you because it's what he wants to do.
Yeah. And that was exactly what happened. I ended up talking to him for a few minutes, and through some other friends, we ended up eating dinner with him and his wife that night. Yeah. And then, then we got to tour Trust in Texas, and we were already got to see Printed Threads, and it was awesome. Yeah. Like, that kept me going for almost 2 more years till I got to go to another one, which was the Cleveland one, and that was even better. I didn't even look around at the Hall of Fame. I was too busy chit-chatting and BSing with people,
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It was great.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's a wild world, and it's just what you make of it. I think is the most, like, you can make your shop as big or small, or as knowledgeable or dumb as you want to make it. It's like, It is what it is. So I don't know. So we kind of drifted off of this topic a little bit, but it's kind of like I think we kind of talked about your pros of jumping out and starting your own thing. We didn't really talk about a lot of negatives other than that it's scary and you're by yourself. But
yeah, it's scary by yourself. I mean, when we first started, people don't talk about this, but you have to figure things out, and they get real. Like, nobody talks about buying groceries with a credit card. It's hard. No, like that's real. Nobody talks about that. You wake up in the morning and you feel that 800-pound gorilla on your chest because you got to make payroll in 2 days, and you have no idea where it's going to come from. How in the world is it going to happen? And then you wake up the next day and it does.
I've told this story a few times on here, but I don't think I've told like the full thing. But it's kind of like there was a period for the first 5 years in business, I was terrible with money. I just thought that every dollar that came in was mine and I could spend it how I wanted, and I would buy shirts, but sometimes I would buy something else and then I wouldn't have money for shirts, payroll, or this, that, and the other thing. And I got humbled pretty hard when it was like things slowed down and I didn't have the money to buy shirts and this, that, and the other thing. I sold my truck. I sold just other things I had to take that money and be able to cover payroll. And it was like, nobody knew. I just did it. I just said, I had to sell my truck, or I wanted to sell my truck or whatever. But it's like, I didn't want to sell my truck at all. It was my fucking only vehicle.
Yeah.
It was like, I had to sell it quickly on Craigslist or whatever, because I needed to take that money and put it into the bank account and cover payroll. But that's again, where you're the dog on the kitchen table and the hot place is on fire, where you're like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But really in the background, you're selling this and that to make sure that everything's in for payroll. And I had done that once, like right after I got rid of that truck, I bought a Jeep, like from the dealership. I bought it and made payments and whatever. And then it got to another point again where I wasn't great with money. And then I had to basically choose payroll or not to pay my Jeep payment. And whatever 3 missed payments of the Jeep, I was home one day and I heard beep, beep, beep. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I look out and it was a tow truck, or a wrecker, basically picking my Jeep up and taking it and being like, well, you didn't make the payments. And it's like, that's what you don't think about. You don't think about the fucking things that you have to do to make this work. So,
and nobody tells you. There's no playbook. Like, there's nobody that sits down and shows you how to do sales tax. There's nobody that you just figure that stuff out.
I got hit a year into business. I was still like, it was at the end of me being in the first garage that I was in for Upstate or whatever. And I got a letter from whatever, the government or something, saying, hey, you haven't paid workers' comp for your 2 employees you've had for a year. Here's a $50,000 fine. And I was like, I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, no one ever told me workers' comp was something I had to have. All I knew is that I had to basically get a DBA, and I was off to the races. I was like, cool, I paid my $30 for my DBA. I'm a business.
Yep.
I never thought I needed insurance or this, that, and the other thing. And then I got a letter in the mail. It was like, hey, idiot, you need to have this. Here's a $50 or $50,000 fine. It wasn't, hey, you have to have this, get it, and like, you're all good. It was like, you owe us $50K. And make sure you have this from here on out. I called them basically like on my knees. Like, I had no idea. Like, is there any way this is like a first time offender? Like, give me a slap on the wrist and I will have it from here on.
Yeah.
They were like, how about you pay $1,000 and we'll call it good? And I was like, what is this weird, we'll call it good money? Like, whatever. I paid $1,000 is way easier to come up with than $50K.
Yeah.
I don't even think I had $200 to my name at that point. Like,
I've had to listen to books on all kinds of financial stuff just because I was just naive to it. I don't know how.
I grew up poor. Like, I never knew what to do with money.
Same here.
I was just like, cool, I have it, I can spend it.
Yep. That's so. Again, I guess Mr. Positive today. I grew up poor too, and that's what I like. If it weren't for this industry, like, it changed my life. Like, absolutely changed my life. And even before being a business owner, it's granted me opportunities in stuff that I would have never fathomed or thought that I would get the opportunity to do. Yeah. And it's, I'm not the poor kid anymore. I'm now a business owner, so now I need to figure out all those things. So I got to listen to all these books while
Let's
I'm
just be
printing
clear: business
50,000
owners can be
shirts.
poor too.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm still
Yeah.
poor. But I just know how to play the cup game, I guess. Put money in here, move over
but I
here.
think like the moral to my story was, like I said, like the first 5 years of like not knowing and learning or whatever. I feel like it's the same with printing or anything else. Is it's like you get kicked in the nuts enough times, you're like, okay, I can't do it this way.
Got to figure it
So
out.
basically, after all of these things happened to me, where I was like, okay, this sucks and whatever, and I realized I'm terrible with money. I need to figure something out, and that's when I read Profit First.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time I went through Profit First, and I didn't want to do the whole like 6 or 7 bank account thing and like all that, whatever. But I basically took the knowledge from that of like, I need to make sure that my bills, my payroll, my expenses from every job is pulled out immediately. And then whatever is left is actually my money. So my method is more profit last. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he tells you when you get your money to make sure your profit is out. And then this is like your play with do what you got to do money. But like,
yeah,
I was more like, I want to make sure that at the end of every day, blanks are bought, inks are bought, this, that, and the other thing. And then whatever's left is my money to spend on things that I need to spend it on. Or if I do, I'm like, oh, we want to upgrade or this, that, or the other thing. But once I started doing that, it was like a totally different world for me. I was like, oh, I have a savings account and I have money put away, and I actually don't have the stress of like, what do I gotta, like checking your bank account daily. Like, poor people know this, where every day you wake up in a sweat of like, how much money do I have in my bank account and what did I not account for coming out today feeling?
Yeah.
That is where I got to a point where I was like, oh, cool, I'm out of this. And then, you kind of learn and read more books and figure things out. And then you're like, oh, cool, I can invest money and have my money make me money and all these other things. And I don't know. It's just, you don't know this until you do it. You know what I mean?
Nope.
You don't know this as an employee of somebody else necessarily. You don't know this until you are like, and I just feel like it's one of those things like you will never know until you actually do it yourself. You'll never trust somebody else's word until it happens to you because you stumbled upon it on your own.
Yeah.
It's kind of like me trying to tell my kids, like, I was cool once. Like, you should listen to the music I know about. And they're like, fuck you, Dad. Like, you're an idiot. Like, nothing you say was ever cool.
I mean, before we even did this, I used to watch The Profit with Marcus Lemonis and, Shark Tank and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. And my point to that is like, their thing is know your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers. Well, 4.5 years in, I'm just now kind of getting humbled that I have to know my numbers to a certain degree because things are so tight these days. Like, and I feel with confidence now that I truly understand what I should have known from the beginning. But when you start doing this, you're just treading water all the time. And you're just trying to figure every little thing out day by day. And you can't the prioritization of it all is like most important and most relevant is, like what's going to punch you in the stomach next. You got to figure out first, or what did hit you in the stomach, you got to figure out now, you know what I mean? And it sucks. I mean, I'm sure some people are a little more proactive than that, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's not till the problem arises that you kind of
start doing your homework and figuring it out.
Yeah. Why didn't I do this? Man, if I would have done what I know, if I knew what I know, 4.5 years ago, we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of this episode is me being vulnerable and talking about all the shit I was terrible at, but it's kind of like, like when I started this company, it was just me and my friends. It was a way for me and my friends to make money and be able to live the lives we wanted to live. So I didn't get humbled until, like I said, like 5 to 8 years in or something of being like, oh yeah, I need to treat this like a real thing. I probably should know my numbers to a degree of like, well, I need to make this much money a week in order to survive or whatever. Cause it wasn't that. It was me and a couple buddies printing shirts. Yeah. And it was like, oh, there's always money in the bank account. Why do I need to look at quarterly whatever or what I made last year or if I'm up or down or whatever?
and I've been asking people those kind of questions, but it's hard because you don't know how to articulate it. Not everybody's comfortable with talking about that kind of stuff, and it's hard. Like, and you don't even know what to ask because you don't know what to ask, you know?
Mhm.
So, I mean, like, that's what's been kind of cool with like the AI stuff is like put as much information as I know about my company into it and let it spit back and explain it to me like I am brand new baby, you know, like tell me everything, like,
Mhm.
and it will. I mean, it's not 100% accurate by any means, but it's helped get me over that hump of like not feeling like I understand certain things to now I have a grasp of it. So now I know the things to look more deeply into, you know, and
Mhm.
it's wonderful. Like, I mean, it's only been like 2 months since I've really had a handle on that, and I feel the changes already, you know.
So if you want to dive into that a little bit, like what did you actually do? Like what was the turning point for you to be like, I want to figure these out? And then what did you put into AI to tell you, like, how
So
do we make this better?
when I started it with it, I was putting into it like I want to be the best around. I want to do this. I want to do that. Yada yada yada. The rah rah bamboo whatever. Then I started putting like actual numbers in there and putting more specifics in there, like my overhead. What broke down my overhead? Put it in there. What's a 30% margin? Make me a pricing model that, you know, is going to make me 30% margin with this much overhead, and
Right.
it'll do it. And that's like, you would have to, how long would that take you prior to that to figure that all out? You know what I
A
mean?
good
Like
amount of time.
it would spit it. I mean, it can spit it out in 15 seconds where you would spend days, hours, weeks trying to figure all that out, you know? Like you just said, you need to know how much you need to make weekly, how much you need to make daily, how much you need to make hourly, how much you need to make per shirt to break even, you know? And when you know those things, they're powerful, powerful things, you know?
I had done years ago basically that. Like I had sat down and been like, oh, these are my numbers, this is whatever. But it was a little more simple back then. It was more like, okay, my numbers are a little easier to figure out and whatever. And then you get to another point too with your version 2 of your pricing chart where you're like, you know what? I want to make sure all my numbers are easy to remember, because if I'm quoting somebody on the fly, I don't want to be like, it's 37 cents per color added.
Yeah.
Let's just round it up to 50 cents a color or something. You know what I mean? And then you start getting like, your pricing chart gets weird because it's like, oh, well, this is all, everything's rounded up and everything's at this thing. And then 2 years into that, you're like, well, nobody's ordering these because it's probably priced too high. Let's just go ahead and lower this 15 cents. But you just start making these adjustments without any math. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, let's just do this or let's just do this thing. And then I kind of got to a certain point where, you know, pre-COVID, we had a pricing chart that we probably had for a couple of years at least, where we hadn't made any changes. And then after COVID, I kind of tweaked things where I was like, oh, we need to up this because now ink is, you know, 30% higher or something than it was before, and so on. And then you end up with this just wonky ass pricing chart where you're just like, it's working, people are ordering, but like some people aren't because they say we're too expensive. We ended up losing a couple big clients that we had because they said we were too expensive, or they just stopped talking to us after we quoted them and didn't tell us we were too expensive. We just assumed that's why. And then after that, I was like, I don't even really need these numbers to be this way. I went back to the old pricing structure, but then it was too late and those customers were gone. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like they were actually really good customers. And then I don't remember why exactly, but at one point, me and Christina sat down at my kitchen table and she was willing to do it because she nerds out on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we basically spent the entire weekend like just sitting at the table and going through these, you know, this is what you need to know with your numbers. And, you know, certain people have these calculators that you can go in and put in all your stuff and it spits out what your numbers should be. And the pricing chart looked way different. Like it looked accurate, but it looked way different than what I currently had as a model. And I was like, I wasn't making dick on like 10 color prints. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, well, let's just do 50-cent jumps or something. But then you really look at it, it's like, oh, I should have been $1.35 jumps or something. And it's like, oh, well, I was losing, like I was making good money on 1 to 2 color prints, but anything above 2 color or something, I was kind of on the cheaper end and whatever. So yeah, I think it's good to do a hard reset, especially when you have some time to be like, this is what I actually need to be making, and not necessarily concern yourself with what the guy down the street is charging.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, the biggest perspective switch was like, I had this weird thing where I was scared to death to be overpriced, especially being new. Like I didn't want anybody to ever say, but then all I ever heard was, oh, your prices are great, blah, blah, blah. So what do you automatically, you're like, oh, I'm too cheap. You know,
but isn't that the biggest punch in the face too,
yes.
is when you're quoting a customer and you're kind of nervous to give them a certain price, and you like try, even before they ask, you try to like call SNS or this and that and like get a break or something to where you're like, all right, well, I can charge this. And then they're just like, sounds good, your price is great. Like, and you're like, fuck, I should have charged more. Like I should have charged that extra 50 cents or $1 or whatever. And it's just like, damn it. Like, why was I too stressed out about this?
Well, now to that, like, so now knowing those numbers and having confidence in that, it changed my perspective to like, this is the number that I need it to be at, period. And for me, it's like, it's taken taking it personal when if they think it's too expensive, well, I can't do it I can't afford to do it any cheaper. So, and that's tough because, you know, there's somebody else down the street that will, but I feel like I mean, you can't afford to do everything for everybody.
But the thing is, at some point you have to look at it as like, is this person actually needing it cheaper, or are they just, and I've found out that most of the time what it is there's just this thing where people think it's their job to, regardless of what price you give them, ask for it to be cheaper. Like what they want to do is they want to go to their boss and be like, I got them down to whatever price.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's part of their job. Like I've done it so many times where someone comes to me and they're like, you know, I had it a little while ago. It was for this movie studio. It was an awesome thing that we did. And they ordered the first time, didn't say anything. And then a bunch of people got CC'd in on this, like reorder what it was. And then we're like, this one lady who never talked to me any of the process emails me and is like, is there any way that we can get like a loyalty discount? Like we ordered before, we're going to order again. And I'm like, no, it's the same fucking order. Like, what do you mean? And she was like, okay, like, I just thought I had to ask or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not just giving you cheaper prices to give you cheaper prices. Yeah. And I also had one the other day too, that was like quoting somebody on all these like expensive crew necks. And, the person who had to make the say of to get them or not is not the normal like person who orders merch or whatever. Yeah. And they were just like, can't we get this? Like they were just making up numbers in their head. They were like, can't we get this down to, say I was charging, I'll just make up a number. Say I was charging $20 and they were like, can't we get these down to like $16, $17 a piece or whatever? And I was just like, where are you getting those numbers from? Like, did someone else order before and they were $16 or $17? And then I kind of dug in and it was like they were just making up a number where they were like, in my head, I think this crew neck should be like $17. And I literally sent a screenshot, which I never do, of my cost. I was like, here's a screenshot from SNS. These crew necks are fucking $16.75 before I touch them. Like, how is this even remotely $17? Like,
here's a question for you though. Like you doing this as long as you've seen prices fluctuate and change drastically over your career. Like, do you still in the back of your mind sometimes think like this shirt's like $2, $2.50, but really it's like $4.50 now? Do you know what I mean? Like, does that ever happen to you?
All the time.
I get that. Like, I guess I'm just more realizing that now that I'm still doing that, and I'm like,
well, I don't do as much sales anymore. Like I used to only be the sales guy. Like that was my thing. Like I was I knew every item number. I knew all of these things by heart. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to date this a little bit. I used to be like, oh, the G5000 or the 779 anvil or the, you know, this, that, and the other like number these were all the basic tees and this was the price. And in my mind, those shirts are still $2.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, that get G5's around $2. And then I go online and I look and I'm like, this motherfucker's like $4. Like, what happened?
Huge. Yeah, it's
Like,
huge
even now,
difference.
people will ask me, like, just people I see or whatever, like, can you give me a rough quote on like what you think a basic t-shirt with a 4-color print on? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe like $650. Like, I'm just thinking in my head what I thought it would have been back when I was doing it. And then I come here and I'm checking. It's like, no, it's $13. It's over double what I told you I thought it was.
Yeah, that's terrible. I catch that stuff all the time. I'm like, oh wow, that's way different. I mean, hats are crazy. They've tripled almost. Richardson hat used to be $4.50. Now they're almost $7-8.
Leanna had that
wild.
today. She was talking about some customer called that ordered shirts 5 years ago, and she wanted a reprint of the same thing. And Leanna like redid the invoice and sent it to her, and she was like, "What happened? This is 3 times the cost it was." Well, like, I don't know what to, like, we're not making this up. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is just literally what it is right now.
Yeah,
like,
wild.
I can't do anything different for you. It's just is what it is. I don't know. Do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about with you guys and your growth? And
no, I mean, we're chugging along. I feel like it's starting to, they say that 5-year mark, it starts to, it's either make or break. And
it's
I feel
real.
like it is. It feels like it's starting to mature. Like, I mean, I don't know, for the first time in 4.5, 5 years, I'm really starting to like be able to like step back and just, sorry, it's almost emotional, but like, be proud of it and be happy of how far it's come and how much work I've put into it. And like, it's my third child, it really is.
I agree with you so much that you don't understand. Like, this is my this is my existence. And, again, like you just gotta keep doing it. And a lot of people will ask, like, what's your 5-year plan? What's your whatever? And like, I hate that question. I hate it on a personal level. I hate it on a business level, whatever, because also part of me is like, I hate the rejection or the disappointment of like, my plan didn't work like I thought it was going to. What I like more is prepping myself to be successful today.
Yeah.
And then I know tomorrow won't be so bad.
Yeah.
And then I know that tomorrow I'll do what's on my to-do list. And then I know that the next day won't be so bad. And I think that if you look at life like that, of like living in the moment of like what is going on right now and what is important to me today or tomorrow, or maybe even by the end of the week, life is a lot simpler. You know what I mean? Like, not to put out, this is what I think life should be, but it's like, if you just do the best you can do today to be better for tomorrow, then that's all that matters. Like, you don't need a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. Like, if you want lofty goals to be like, well, I want to own my building one day, or I want to get an auto or something. It's like, that's a good goal. And you'll probably get that regardless.
Yeah.
Like, you will eventually get there. Like, it doesn't need to necessarily be a goal. Well, I just feel like it's
what like reading all these books and everything. It's like all these like business books set you up to be the next Steve Jobs or Jeff Bezos. And it's like, that's not for everybody. I don't want more people, more problems.
There's like I want one Jeff Bezos and one Elon. There's like 4 people in the world where you're like, I know these people are billionaires, and I want nothing to do with that. And this is going to be me not talking about politics or not talking about religion or anything like that. And again, there's friends of mine that are like, oh, I hate that you don't vote or this, that. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll tell you straight up, I don't care. Yeah. The thing is I am so much happier in my bubble of my friends, my area, my town, my whatever, if I stay the fuck away from the news or I stay the fuck away from religion or politics or this and this. Like, the only thing I got to worry about today is doing my job at my shop. And then tonight I want to go see Tron with my son. And tomorrow I'm going to do this thing. And then it's the weekend. Like, I don't need to be thinking about what's going on the other side of the world. I don't need to worry about somebody else's bullshit. I'm just happy. I have enough problems to turn me gray in my own tiny bubble. Why
Yeah.
am I spreading that to this whole thing? And again, like, that's not for everybody. That's not everybody's way of thinking. I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm just saying that's what I want to do, is just stay in my own little zone and live day by day.
Yeah.
And that frustrates some people close to me that are like, well, I want to know what's your future plan or this and that. It's like, I don't fucking have one, dude. Like, I don't want to have one. I want to just like be in the moment with you right now and like figure this out and just like be happy now.
Yeah.
Because I don't need any more stress than I already have. Like, just leave me alone. End the podcast. Leave me alone.
Does the podcast and all of this, like, does it give you a little bit of that mojo to keep on going more so
yes
than
and no.
printing?
If I'm completely honest, yes and no. And you were talking about it earlier about like doing something and feeling like you're alone on an island.
Yeah.
Like, I can go online and look at the numbers of like the downloads or the listens or this and this, and the numbers are great. Like, the show is doing better than it's ever done. It's awesome. Like, I'm stoked to be doing it. I love doing it. Like, for me personally, I got to sit down with you today and have a conversation that was meaningful and like impacted me and will affect my day and affect my mood and affect like my way of thinking from here on out. Or like, I might leave this podcast today, even though it's something I should have done, but now I'm going to be more inspired to like check my numbers, or, we didn't really talk about it, but Christina talked to me about it. Like, look at AI agents or this, that, like things that were already in the back of my mind, but like now I'm like, oh, like I actually want to have that happen. So for me, that's what this show is it's kind of like my behind the curtain on somebody else's point of view that might trigger something that I was not thinking or thinking about. You know what I mean? But again, like, I do this show and I put all this, like, it's a lot. Like, I'm not trying to say this to get a pat on the back, but like, it's a fucking lot, dude. I have never missed an episode. I missed one episode in like almost 6 years. And it was only because I was in Mexico on a boat. And it's something to sit down with somebody for almost 3 hours every week, but it's not just, it's like screen printing where you're talking about, where it's not just recording the episode. Yeah. Recording the episode is the end of it. Before that, there's a team of us. Like, there's tech checks, there's notes, there's, getting a guest in the first place and then getting them to give us all these other things. And then on top of that, it's like, we have this website with all these resources. There's the Discord channel. Now I sit down on Sunday for hours doing a newsletter. And it's like, I'm going to pump the newsletter right now while I'm fucking recording. But like, if you haven't signed up for it yet, try it. Go to shirtshowofficial.com/newsletter. It is literally me sitting at my kitchen table, writing out a couple paragraphs about my life and what's going on at the shop. And then it's a recap of the episode. It's tech tips with John McGee. It's now Elisa's in there talking about marketing. Printing United's partnering with us to give us like news, and more things are coming. And then there's just like other shop hacks and shit. Like, it's just a resource of, if you're into screen printing or our industry in general, and you want to like get an email once a week that's just got like fun shit to look at or like learning shit, like, just sign up for it. And again, like, I put hours of my life into it every week. But again, like you were talking about, like, I'm on an island. A lot of times I don't hear from anybody. I put it out into the world. I get to go on and click and see all the people that saw it and everything else. But like, a lot of times there's like a little bit of a response. Like, I'll get a DM or I'll get a whatever. And it's like thousands of people listen to the episode, but 3 people will email me and be like, hey, that was a good one.
Oh, really? See, I always didn't want to bother you. Like, oh man, he don't want to hear my bullshit again.
I want to, like, I'm saying there are a good amount of people who reach out every week and are like, this is what I thought, or they'll give me a voice memo, or they'll whatever. Like, that shit means the fucking world to me. Like, it makes me be like, I want to keep doing this. I'm going to do it anyway, but I'm just saying that, like, there are a shitload of listeners and a shitload of downloads, and there's a lot of people that watch on YouTube, but like, the listens is way more than YouTube. But it's like, I don't really know the impact that this show necessarily has until I go to a trade show. And then a lot of people are like, oh, I love your show. Or, it changed me this way or helped me do this. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, I was just talking about some bullshit. And they were like, oh, like, this actually meant something to me. And it's like, okay, cool. I want to keep doing it.
when you feel like you're on that island isolated though, and someone's talking that is relatable, that you can feel and you've been through though, like it hits different. And I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying is like,
it-
I know that. And I know that there's people that are like, hey, this kept me going, or this, I was going to quit. And then I found out that another shop that you talked to basically had the same boat as me. And then it made me want to keep going and all this other stuff. Like that stuff is so meaningful to me. Like it might be something stupid where someone messages and it's just like, that last episode was great and I really liked it. That makes my entire day. Like it's like cool. Like the, fucking 12 hours I put into this week's episode with everything involved now seem like it was worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally get that. I mean, I coming from, starting in this industry and asking somebody how they did a discharge shirt because they're walking in the door talking about it and blabbing about it, and you ask them how'd you do that, and they tell you, fuck you, kid. Like to now having this it's I cannot articulate to you how important this is
thanks.
to me personally.
Yeah,
but I know that
I just want to say, like, I super appreciate that. I feel really weird, yucky. I always call it yucky belly, like yucky tummy. Like I don't want to give myself this like, oh, this is this important thing that I do or whatever. But like, I love doing it myself, and if people listen, cool, and it's awesome. But like, I'm doing this because I wanted to talk to you today.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like that. I mean, like in reality, that's what it is. It's like I wanted to talk to you, and I got to have a conversation with somebody like me for a couple hours, and it's cool. Like, and then it gets recorded and edited and sent out, and I don't listen to them when they come out. I hope they come out good. I know that Chad goes through and like edits weird shit in there, and I never know about it. And whatever. Hope you guys enjoy. I guess there was an episode a couple weeks ago when I had a cold, and he made all my like sneezes like this like lady like little hachus or whatever. And I was like, dude, I didn't even know that existed.
That's awesome.
But all right, let's get into the quick takes. I didn't have a single note for you. We just wung that whole thing.
Hold on. I got some notes.
Okay.
You want to talk movies? Let's talk movies.
I want to. Well, we'll get there.
Okay, sorry.
I will get there. Shop hack. Do you have one?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It is this little guy right here.
Was a little duct tape dispenser?
It is a clamping tape dispenser that is amazing. Scotch. We have like 5 or 6 of these. They're within like 10 steps of each other throughout the whole shop. I mean, I know some people don't use film, but they're great for registration
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can clip it to the press, you can clip it to the pole, you can clip it to the screen. I mean, they're amazing. Pinholes, it's presents, Christmas presents. I mean, they're amazing.
We use this for Christmas presents and pinholes.
This thing's been great. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Not as good as baby wipes, but hey,
dude, nothing will ever beat baby wipes.
No.
And I also want to plug this too, because we've noticed a lot of like really good numbers on the website and stuff. But like the unsung hero, Jared, has been like building the website, like shirtshowofficial.com. Like if you go there and go to stuff, I think it is, there's hacks in there. We are going through every day and adding every shop hack that's ever been mentioned on this show. And every episode has multiple. Like, even though I might ask you right now, do you have a shop hack? If we mentioned anywhere in the episode, like AI will pull, like give us data of like, here's 10 things we talked about every episode that might have some kind of like relevance for somebody as like, this is how we do something. We're going through every episode and taking all of those and making basically an article for each one that has the timestamp and the episode. You can click and watch in the episode where it is. It's information on the actual thing. It's a photo of whatever the shop hack was. And if it's relevant, like your tape thing, there'll be a link to the Amazon store where you can actually buy that thing. But that's what I mean by like behind the scenes work. Like,
yeah, no, that's a lot of work. And I am
like
grateful
300 something fucking hacks or whatever it's going to be or more is all on the website. So if you want to go through and look at them, they're really cool. And also there's like articles coming out from a bunch of people now. And if you want to write an article, if you're listening to the show and you have something you want to talk about, send me an article. I'll put it up. I'll give you credit. I'll fucking whatever you want to do. So
that's how we met. You wrote
it's
an
for
article.
the people.
Yeah, you wrote an article, and I can't remember, Impressions Magazine or something, and commented on it, and we started kind of chit chatting back and forth. That was 12 years ago.
I'm always down. All right. Greatest shop fail.
Oh, probably spelling, period. Just it's gotten better with the AI and the I don't know why it took so long for Adobe to put the red line under words, but probably just spelling Mississippi with 3 P's instead of 2.
My favorite thing as far as being, and it's so dumb, it's a 10-year-old boy thing to say. My favorite thing is people ask me for a quote for shits. Like when they leave the R out of shirts, and you get it every so often. You get how much is shits, or it makes me giggle every time.
Yeah. I've looked at shirts a couple of times in an email and be like, wait, does that say? Okay, we're good. There's
yeah. My also favorite is when people call Gildans Goldmans. Yeah. We get that all the time for some reason. They're like, I want those Goldman shirts.
I got one for you. So one time a customer asked if they could get the plastisol effect. And what it was just a distressed, cracked look. But she called it plastisol effect. And I was like, huh? What?
I told this forever ago on this show, but we used to have our pricing chart posted, which a ton of shops used to and don't anymore. And we would have the top half of the pricing chart was like the first location, whatever. And then the bottom half was second location. And you would just add second location for every added location. Well, we had somebody who adamantly emailed us and were like, we wanted the second location shirts. And we were like, they're like, yeah, this is only $1.25 or whatever. We want the second location. I was like, that's for the second location, you moron. Like, that is not a shirt. Like, that is just the next print. So, yeah. People. All right. What shirt has your shop printed that you were the most proud of?
Oh, I've got a couple, but this one's my coolest. So we got to, long story short, the SSL store, the SSL padlock on like websites and stuff, like to keep the security safe. Mm-hmm. So that company was located in Florida, and they rented out the whole movie theater to do the premiere of Star Wars, the Solo movie when it came out. Mm-hmm. And they invited
super underrated movie, by the way.
It was. I love
it's a great one. So. Yeah, I'm just saying, I feel like that movie didn't get as much credit as it should have.
And they rented out the whole movie theater, and they actually contacted Lucasfilm and asked if they could use their artwork, and Lucasfilm sent them artwork, and they gave them permission. So I got to design and print a shirt for them for it, which is just Solo.
That's awesome.
But
it's the story behind that, though, that is meaningful to you.
I mean,
I have one of those in my conference room. That is the Charles Lippincott was the original marketing guy for the original Star Wars movie when they were first making it and didn't know what it was going to be. It was just some fucking sci-fi movie that was being made and whatever. And they had made shirts for him and a couple other staff to wear around when they were doing the traveling and doing marketing for this movie. And again, back then it was this little thing, it was whatever. Yeah. And there's just photos of him that he had shown me. He's actually passed away now, a couple years ago, but I had followed him on Facebook and all these other things, but he reached out to me a while ago to print that original Star Wars design. It was the first design ever made for Star Wars.
That's awesome.
That was some kind of apparel. Nobody else has ever printed it. That time that he wore it was the only time it was ever used. And he had the original artwork. And he sent it to me and we printed it. And he ended up giving it to all of the staff, the original staff of the first Star Wars movie. And we got to print it. And it was this fucking rules. This is I got to print artwork that was only ever out once, and it's basically just it's this triangle and has Luke or whatever with a fucking lightsaber in the middle, and it was just this hand painted thing. It was fucking awesome. So
That's cool.
It's the story behind it where it's like, this is movie history.
Yeah.
And I had a little part in it, and it was really cool. So, do you have another one? You said you had a couple.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know where that one is, but
Your fucking CMYK shirt.
Yeah, that one. Long story short, one of my very first customers ended up being OCC, the Orange County Choppers, and I grew up watching that show and watching that dude Josh draw on the AutoCAD, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, that he would draw these things and then they would make them real, and that whole history between them, and then like full circle is to be able to design that stuff, and Senior and him, Junior don't really get along, so I made a shirt that was Junior's web bike, that was like his dream build, and I did all this research intentionally, like I'm gonna make this web bike shirt and Paul's gonna wear it and love it. And it was a cool story to hear the people say that Paul walked into the shop and they were surprised that he grabbed that one and wore it. I don't know where it is, man. I don't have that one ready. But
this is back when it was just me and my best friends, like running the shop, basically. I was trying to make like a yearly thing that we all went and did, like the shop pays for a trip or something.
Yeah.
And we went to Gainesville for Fest, and it was Fest 9. So if anybody knows about Fest, it's this giant punk rock festival in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah.
And we went for the whole week. And we got this like shit fucking hotel that was like 3 miles from the show. And we walked, and we didn't realize it was this whole thing. But anyway, there was like maybe 2 days of the whole thing where we just sat in the hotel room because we had no money. Like we were broke. Like we barely had money for food, but we had like the, hotel room TV or whatever. We watched probably 30 episodes, or I'm making the number up. I don't know how many it was. It was a lot, where we watched Orange County Choppers on TV. And I think it was because it was the only thing on, and we were just like, fuck it, let's watch it. But we ended up getting really invested. We were like, what's going to happen? Whatever. And then I remember like the last day, we never got to watch the conclusion episode where like Junior and Senior were like super fighting with each other. So it's like even a joke today where like Chris will be like, I wonder what happened with Junior and Senior or whatever. And it's like, it forever lives in my brain. The week in Gainesville, sweaty and wet and gross, going to Fest. Like nobody wore deodorant. PBR was everywhere. Sitting in that hotel room watching Orange County Choppers, being the one of 2 groups of people who actually swam in the pool because we're from the north, and now time of year is actually still hot for us.
Yeah.
And we ate Domino's garlic crust pizza every day for a week straight. Like that was our only meal. And to this day, I will not eat garlic crust Domino's because of that. Because it was $5. You could get a large pizza for $5. So it's like we each just bought $5 Domino's pizzas the entire week. So anyway, super awesome. Weird and random story. But great, when I think of Orange County Choppers, that's the only thing I think of is that fucking Gainesville story.
Yeah. It was just cool to like full circle moment. Like that's when my intrigue for art started peaking, and then like that's my first thing that I get to do is design and print shirts for them. Like how surreal is that? Like
that's super cool.
So
I love that kind of stuff. All right, top 4 favorite movies of all time.
4? I got 5.
Well, give me 5, dude. I don't care.
So Ghostbusters. Star Wars.
Which one? Which Ghostbusters?
Ooh, first one for sure.
I just saw the Ghostbusters Firehouse on Saturday. I took my kids to the city, and we went to the what is it, Station 8 or whatever it is that has the actual thing.
I graduated high school, and that was my big thing. I wanted to go see the Ghostbuster Firehouse, and that was we went on a movie tour.
We walked to get there from where we were at, and this is a whole nother story, but it's in the newsletter. I talked about it. But we walked to the firehouse, saw it. It was really cool because my kids had just watched the Frozen one, like the newer Ghostbusters that came out.
Yeah.
And it's, the building's in it and everything else. Well, we saw the building, got our picture in front of it, whatever, sat on the corner. And then I called an Uber to go back to where our hotel was or whatever. And just as the Uber pulled in, Ecto-1 pulled in.
What?
Yeah, like the
That's
original
so cool.
one pulled up and people were taking pictures. And I was like, fuck, I can't make this Uber driver wait. So I showed my kids, I was like, there's the car, get in the van. Like, the car would have been the best part of going there because it was like you could actually stand in front of it and see it and whatever, but whatever.
That's so
it was
awesome.
Cool. It was a fun experience. All right, so Ghostbusters, what was your second one?
Star Wars.
Which one? There's 900 of them now.
I mean, I grew up with the Phantom Menace, and that's hard to say that that's my favorite. I'd have to say just the original trilogy is what really kind of got me into it. Period.
Everybody who's scared to say what their actual Star Wars movie is the original 3. Because if you say the second set, you're an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, I was 10 years old when Phantom Menace came out, and that was my world. There's no lying about that. But it's hard. It's been hard lately.
I really like Mandalorian, Rogue One, and Solo. Like, to me, those are more true space westerns. Even
though they're not originals per se, but they're original takes off of spinoffs. Does that make sense?
Like, but that, to me, being honest about it and not just being someone who's like, well, I only like the original, whatever. It's like, these ones actually had more of a grab me in impact than. But again, like, I didn't grow up with the original ones. I was never a Star Wars fan until I was probably in my early 30s, where I went through and actually watched them.
Did you watch Andor at all?
Some of it. I haven't finished it. There's actually they're making them like crazy now. And it's like they're constantly a new one. So it's like there's a bunch that I still need to go catch up on.
I hate when people say this, but they say, "Oh, you got to get through episode 9 and then everything gets good." Well, that's one of those shows where it's like once they're in the prison, it turns a corner, and that show is absolutely amazing. Like, it shows what a rebellion is and why they were rebelling, and like you can feel it. Like, you can,
I think I watched like the first 3 episodes, and I kind of ended up getting pulled into a different direction. Yeah. He was like running and accidentally like murdered some people, and then I was like,
it gets so much better. But
I gotta go back. I'm just saying, whatever. There's sometimes they over make things, and you're like, all right, this lost the flavor to me. Like, this is not as interesting. All right, so we got Ghostbusters, Star Wars,
Beetlejuice.
Fuck yeah.
The first one.
Obviously. It's the only good one.
Back to the Future. I might have to say no. Number 2. I think I like number 2. I think that one ties them all together in a weird way.
I like all of them. I mean,
I
really
like
all of them.
Yeah, I like them all too. I
really like the Western one for some reason.
That might be my least favorite. Sorry.
Really? I don't remember why. I just thought it was really cool when I was a kid that, I don't know, something about it where Marty had to go dig up the one that was in the cave.
Oh yeah.
And then he like took the tarp off it or whatever. Like, for some reason that stuck with me of like, oh, it's just like, I think I just really like Westerns. So like part of me was like, this is cool. Cause I remember he like went 88, and then all of a sudden he was like, there was a bunch of Native Americans behind him, like chasing him or whatever. And then he like hid the car and then like buried it. And then it was like this whole thing of Doc was fighting and, trying to save the girl and all this other stuff. Like, I don't know. It just seemed to me, they're all good. I'm just saying that one to me sticks out of like, I like
all
that
in all,
one.
that's probably the best trilogy. One of the best trilogies there is.
Lord of the Rings by far best trilogy of all time.
Okay, sorry. So sorry.
Don't fight me.
I like Lord of the Rings too. But
next,
yes. Knight's Tale. You ever seen that one?
Great, yeah, with Heath Ledger.
Yes, that what resonates with me with that
Paul
is
Bettany.
Like changing your stars. Like you really can if you work hard enough and care about something enough. Anybody can change your stars.
It's a really good movie. It's super underrated. Yeah, there's some really good banter and
the dialogue in that movie is great.
Fantastic.
And the intros before the jousting are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love all those. They're very, very humble, good person vibes movies.
cool.
I mean, I like to think about them and be like, what kind of person would watch these movies? And the kind of person that watched those movies is someone I feel like would be, I don't know, like a good dad or something. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me feel like it's like this person, all of those movies say that basically you're fighting for the good. Because every single one of those movies, that's what that is. It's like the fighting for the little guy kind of situation. So it just says you're a good human is all. You know what I mean? Like if you would have thrown in there like Terrifier 1 and 2 or something, I would have been like, all right, this is weird. What the fuck is going on? Like, what kind of person are you? You're a closet weirdo? But
bonus.
You didn't. You had to.
Well, I got one weird one for you. Bonus favorite horror movie? Probably Devil's Rejects in a weird way. Love that movie. You're just a creep now. Never mind. You ruined it. It was one of the worst movies you could have said. Sorry.
I have respect for those movies, but I am not a horror movie fan at all. So I like creature features. Me and Christina got in an argument about this a little while ago where it's like, what do you mean? They're like, well, how's that any different? I'm like, because it's not human on human stabbing like creepiness. It's like a creature or an alien or something that's like attacking you. Like to me, that puts me in a totally different world. That's more like sci-fi vibes for me than it is a horror movie.
Yeah, I get that.
So no, it's different. But anyway, man, thank you very much for doing this with me. I super appreciate you. I know we've met a bunch of times, but I hope we keep meeting and keep hanging out and talking and whatever. So thank you again for doing this with me today.
Thank you so much for everything that you do, man. And please keep on doing it to the best of your ability.
But this is the last one. I'm quitting after this. So appreciate you being the last one.
So, no. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
All right. Bye.
Appreciate you. I'll see you.